Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2, A Legacy of the Void. Today, gonna be a 4v4 here on Concord, the latter edition, sent in by HyperONE. Team North is gonna be the enemy. It is Terran. Dan Awakes, his teammate. It's gonna be Mike, another Terran player. A third Terran player named Shadow Colonel. And then a Zerg player named El Mas Picante. Which picante means hot, mas means more, and el means the more hot? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure how to translate that. Team South is Team Zerg. We've got Endurance, the orange Zerg player. We have a yellow Zerg player named HyperONE, who is a patron of mine for $10 a month. We've got ourselves Impulse, and we have the Swiss. Hey, what's up, the Swiss? How's it going, man? And again, HyperONE is a patron of mine for $10 a month at patreon.com/FalconPaladin, which gives him the right to send any replay he wants once a month to me through email, and I will cast it, no questions asked. Okay, so this is going to be a pool first from every single Zerg player on Team Zerg. Woo, walling off is a good idea if all of your opponents are Zerg, right? Right. Wow. So aggression is on the menu, everybody. Sixlings, sixlings, sixlings. Endurance is not on. Yes, he is. He's just a little bit faster. 6, 6, 6, 6. All right, man. So slowlings versus a wall, and with Marines behind it. I don't feel like this is gonna get anything done, but a Reaper. Hey, come on, man. Make something with your barracks. Make something. 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and you've got 24 lings at the gates. Nom 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 nom. Say all the lings. How do you only have one Reaper here? Oh, there's a Marine too. Like I said, not going to get much done. It's so many Zerglings. Oh, look at the patrol play here, too. Did we give control to one player for all of these? Is to give everybody, give your control to HyperONE and be like, all right, here's the lings. We're going to macro back home. Do what you want to do with them. Is anybody getting speed? Yeah. HyperONE's getting speed, but like nobody else is. Oh, now we're dancing. Now we're doing the Zergling dance. Do it again. Do the Zergling dance again. It's so fun. Yeah, this has got to be... Somebody has control of all of these things. I don't know who it is. I don't know who on Team Zerg it is, but... I left this Reaper... Ah! Open the door! Open... Ooh, ooh, ooh. There's slow lings, he says. I can kill all of them. Given enough time. An excellent micro, hilariously. I mean... While true, not exactly advised, but hey, you can get some high ground hoppage there. Excellent stuff. So, yeah, I just... Especially on this map where there's one place to wall in. One. That's all you gotta do. One place to wall in, and then you're good against Zerglings. There's other 4v4s where there are multiple attack paths, and yeah, for sure, early link pressure is gonna make a lot more sense there, but on this map, it's like, I guess we're getting a lair now. Metabolic boost is coming in. We're gonna expand. Endurance has 2 bases. Impulse has 2 bases. HyperONE's got 2 bases. Actually, there's a 3rd base from Impulse. Ooh, and a 3rd base on the way from Endurance, too. And the Swiss has managed to expand to the north, and then he's got a 3rd base as well. So Zerg players, they go for the early 6lings off a 12 pool, and then they just macro super hard behind it. Fair enough, I say. It's going to be all right. Got some queens and a single roach here from El Mas Picante. Marauders out. I mean, sure, if there's a roach follow-up, Marauders are going to be great, but like otherwise, just Mass Marine I think should be fine here. Honestly. Ooh, and with a siege tank as well. So, yeah, they're playing defensively. They're worried about a Baneling bust or maybe some kind of huge Ling run-by attempt, but this is it. This is all the Zerglings that there are right now on the map. There aren't a lot of them. And there are no Banelings. You don't have to worry about that. Ooh, somebody's going mech. Shadow Colonel's going for a pre-igniter, which indicates he's going to go for that mech. Going to go for tanks, Thors, Hellions, Hellbats, quite possibly as well. Excellent. This is so good. This is so good. And yeah, HyperONE, again, has his own YouTube channel. So if you want to check that out, I'll put a link to it in the description. You can go ahead and subscribe to him. If you want to watch some very, very creative Zerg stuff, right? Creative StarCraft 2 stuff in general. Ah, HyperONE's taking a third base at the gold. Loving that. And a fourth base is on the way from Endurance. Yeah, man. These are players have nothing. 7 lings, 5 lings, 5 lings, 5 lings. That's it. No roaches. I mean, there's a spire on the way. There's lairs happening all over the place here. But my gosh and golly. Like, if Team North has got to figure out that, hey, if there are that many lings showing up to attack your face that early, it means the economy of the Zerg is terrible. So go hit them. Go hit them now. That's what I recommend. Just send everything and go. Leave a few units back home to defend. Leave the tank here. Just mass up the roaches. Mass up the Marines. Get everybody together and just start murdering stuff. El Mas Picante is trying to get a third base outside the wall at the gold. It's very vulnerable. But again, if there was an army for Team Zerg, it'd be a concern. But it's not. Mutas are on the way right now from the Swiss. Another Spire's on the way from HyperONE. Is this going to go like mass ling muta from all 4 players? This is just too. This is too much. Shadow Colonel, El Mas Picante, Dana Wakes, and Mike. You gotta move out, friends. You can't just let the Zerg players macro up as hard as they can. I know you're afraid. I understand you're worried about huge ling run-bys. Maybe 40 banelings show up and just murder everything, but you have to move out. You got to get a dropout or something. Sitting back here and letting the Zerg take the entire map is not going to do. So here we go. Here's a move out. The Swiss has an Overlord placed perfectly to see these Marines and these tanks heading to where they're going. So creep spread pushing up this way from the Swiss. Very nice. He's got some mutas out. The Marine count is fairly hefty here for Danawix and Shadow Colonel, though. So, and then just defending his own third base here is El Mas Picante. With Ravagers, mostly. He's got a couple... Oh, no, just going... I was going to say it, a couple of roaches, but nope. Not so much anymore. We are pinging constantly here. I think HyperONE's trying to direct traffic a little bit. Yeah. All right. So this is scary. It's a handful of Mutalisks, and the Swiss is in trouble, man. Overlord gets killed by Corrosive Bile. Nice. And then the Marines and tanks show up, and there's just nothing. The Mutas are like... These guys have stim and everything. They're very, very mean. They're just simply... Yeah, this is great. This is what I needed from Team North to make this a game. Is something like this. Oh, there's Cyclones too. Whoa, I don't know what that was. W is doing something for me here. All right, so third base of the Swiss is dead. Big Ravager ball, pretty scary. Just wandering on in here into HyperONE's base. Yeah, there's mutas, but the mutas are heading north to try to save the day there. There was something, I don't know, mutas? Try to get something done there. HyperONE loses his gold base. There are defensive roaches here from, and Ravagers from Impulse, but they're all kind of stacked up like that. The Lings are going to help immensely from Endurance here. Trying to get surrounds on these Ravagers. They're pretty good against Ravagers. Ravagers are squishy for sure. Meanwhile, mutas from HyperONE are here to defend, still trying to help defend here. The anti-air is pretty rough, though. There's a lot of purple Marines here. Reinforcing Marines getting picked off by Roaches, Ravagers, and Mutalisks, though, from HyperONE. And tanks undefended, and the mutas are picking them off very, very easily. Excellent. Now, the Marines, can they handle this many mutas? The answer is kind of, sort of. Very nice. So they do save the Swiss's second base with the help of Roach and Ravager here from Impulse and the Mutalisks of HyperONE. Excellent. Medevac not able to get out of there either. Oh, and then just reinforcing units here dying. All right, so you gave the Zerg players enough time to macro up and get an army, and now it's looking pretty darn scary. HyperONE 111 supply, Endurance 137, 146 for him. Impulse at 175. The Swiss is at 51, but understandably so because he just absolutely got crushed economically there. He's down to 28 total workers. It's 84 workers for Impulse, 77 for Endurance, and 59 for HyperONE right now. So yeah, this is not. This is a ton of economy for Team Zerg. There's that 46 Baneling count I was talking about. Ended up getting him. Impulse brought some Overlords here. I guess that's just a rally. Oh, he's going to lose so many Overlords. Going to supply block him? The answer is maybe. and it does supply block him at 184 supply. So Roach Ravager goes, Impulse says, I'm supply block, go. It's time to attack. Crossobal down that tank. I don't know if that's even necessary, but it's going to die anyway. Yeah, and then, the race car mech's here from Shadow Colonel. Mass Cyclone, very annoying to deal with. To the south, some Lingbane from Endurance trying to win here against Queens and Ravagers and stuff. Not a bad idea. But yeah, Roach Ravager, not bad against Cyclones. Ravagers do very well, especially if the Cyclones aren't being microed, which they're not at all. Mutos from HyperONE attacking El Mas Picante's main base. The Ravagers are getting some good looks here. They're killing a ton of... Oh, there's Zerglings here too. And then Impulse's army just kind of evaporates as reinforcements come in from Marines and Marauders. Marines and Marauders always good against those Ravagers for sure. And then Endurance pulling back home as El Mas Picante has a big Roach Ravager army coming in. You know what? It's time to just get a surround on him. Just do it. Just Zerglings and Banelings go brrr here. Those Queens are dead. I think all these Ravagers, yeah. It's maybe not the most effective use of Banelings I've ever seen, but hey, it wipes out the entire army of El Mas Picante. Mutalisks from HyperONE continuing to attack on in here. Looking to get damage done. Looking to attack on into El Mas Picante's main base again. Maybe sniping, I don't know, the Roach Warren, something along those lines. Dude, I think you could sneak Lings and Bane. There's one Spine and like 3 Queens here. Why are you pulling back? I guess you're reinforcing. Man, this is a Zerg after my own heart. Endurance here. Just nothing but Ling Bane. They're fast. They have great DPS. They're squishy. That's what I like when I'm playing Zerg. That's how I understand Zergs to be. So one of mine are here from Shadow Colonel, just in case the mutas come back in. Try to get some work done on those dudes. Another small attack from Danoakes. As HyperONE's taking the top left base, as there are not a lot of places to expand, I guess. Well, Impulse has done the bottom right stuff, so fair enough. Just kind of charging in. Just, dude, finish the hatch. Finish the hatch. Oh, got it. Got the hatch, and everybody dies, except those get picked up by the medevac. Very, very nicely done. Oh, this is great. This is fantastic. So many Link. Get it. Go in there. Banelings on tanks. Not a good use of Banelings, but hey, the tanks will die anyway. Endurance making all of this Lingbane stuff work for him. El Mas Picante tried to expand here, but the Swiss had some mutas to shut that stuff down. Absolutely. And it is, yeah, Shadow Colonel's doing the mech stuff. But Roach Hydra pretty good against smaller numbers of Thors and Cyclones for sure. These Marines, oh boy, here come the Banes. Here come the Banelings, oh how slow. And they're just rolling. They're just looking for targets, killing what they can, I guess. These Marines are like, stutter step, stutter step. Oh my gosh, stutter step. Hellbats are like, we got this. No, you don't got this, Hellbats. Banelings are finally running out of steam here. After they end up exploding on a couple tanks, and then Zerglings are trying to finish those suckers off, and Ling Bane here from HyperONE ends up wrecking everything El Mas Picante had. El Mas Picante has left the game. Understandably so. I don't know, can Mech hold on here? Mech is pretty hard for Zerg to deal with, but man, all these bases, oh, Danoakes is losing a base here. Oh, Shadow Colonel's third base is dying as well. Is that even, that is third? I think that's his third. So, 74, 37, 87, 100 supply for Team Not Zerg. 181, 147, 71, and 196 for Team Zerg. This is how Zerg overwhelms. And you know, part of the trick here was not letting the mech player get up to a maxed out supply. A maxed out like Mass Thor, or like Thor tank Hellbat army is really hard for Zerg to deal with effectively. But if you get there, we only have a couple Thors, maybe 4 or 5 tanks and a couple Hellbats. It's way easier to deal with. Surprise. And part of that was the Zerg taking the risk of macroing their absolute faces off after the early Mass 12 pool. And this is just continuing to roll. Continuing to roll in here. Absolute death and devastation for everyone in town. Goodbye. I mean, look. Technically, the Terran players have not GG'd out yet, and they're kind of holding this. God, are these cracklings? They are 3-3 with Adrenal. My gosh, it is. Durance has got cracklings here. I mean, he's only made, I think, Lings and Banelings today, so if he doesn't have cracklings at 14 minutes, he's probably doing it wrong. Really on top of that upgrade timing, though. But yeah, just look at how much Zerg there is everywhere on the map. This hasn't been taken, but it probably should. 800 supply of banelings, says Endurance. Let's do that. He's trying to give... Oh, this is lurkers from Impulse, though. Let's all make just nothing but banelings for this A move here into the Widow Mines. Let's do it, says the Swiss. So the Swiss, his economy is currently 58 workers. Not bad. He's on the 3 base. He's got a 4th base up here that he's kind of mining from, which is nice. This lurker stuff, though. It's just if the tanks show up, then the lurkers have to go. That's kind of the concern right now. Yeah, but Widow Mines, this is what I'm talking about. Tanks, Cyclones. The Marines aren't really going to be all that useful. Oh my gosh. Is that a trap? He sets the trap, but doesn't engage it. He lets these Marines go, because they're going to get killed by Lingbane anyway. And, okay, he lets these go as well. Trying to come up the right side. Just Hydra's drones coming in from HyperONE too to free up supply. Oh, he scans, but he doesn't see the lurkers. Is there a Nidus somewhere? 4QE4. Is Impulse waiting for the tanks to walk over them or what? This is interesting. Impulse is on the south team, right? Yeah, okay, just not attacking because Impulse is telling them not to attack. They're waiting for something. I don't know what it is. All right, well, if there's only 3 tanks up here, we'll just wipe those out. Mutas versus Liberators. Not usually a good fight, but if there's like 10 Mutas and 2 Libs, they'll be fine. Absolutely. 35 Banelings on the way from Endurance. Ton of Banelings coming in here from the Swiss. Baneling count is 44, 139, and 45. Impulse is not playing that game. He doesn't want to make any at all. Dan Awakes tosses right on out. Decides to leave the game, despite the fact he had a nice setup over here. But, I mean, I guess once all of his Marine tank was dead, here come the Banelings. Again, Banelings against Thors. Not ideal, but they will get the job done. Oh, my gosh. Okay, well, you ever wanted to watch a million Banelings roll through? Shadow Colonel is tapped out. Meanwhile, Mutas from HyperONE getting work done. His own Banelings taking down an Orbital. Nice stuff here. Mutas are trying to take down these Liberators, so they're not getting any shots at all off on these mass Baneling stuff. Who's still here? Like, who's still trying to fight? Nobody, that's who. Bam! Team HyperONE, Endurance, the Swiss, and Impulse are your winners. And it was a good strategy. They went for the early 12 pool from all 4 players. Ling showed up, put some fear of Zerg into Team Terran with 1 Zerg teammate. And then they just macroed up. From there, they just made nothing but drones. They expanded 2 or 3 times. Team Terran was too afraid to move out. A drop would have just absolutely obliterated at least one of the Zerg players in Team South. Because, again, they had nothing back home, but instead they just kind of dinked around and stayed on their side of the map, and they were afraid. And let Zerg macro all the livelong day, and that was it. That's just your death right there. I mean, 9 drones died for HyperONE. I think he sacked those. 7 drones died for Endurance. 16 for the Swiss during that one attack Terran managed to pull on the top left. And then no drones died for Impulse, which is massively important. If you lose 0 workers in 17 minutes as a Zerg, you're probably going to win the game. Just how it usually works. Resources lost, 38,000 for Endurance. Far and away the most out of anyone. Just Lings and Banes and Lings and Banes galore. The next closest person is at 22,000 for Shadow Colonel, who was meching. And then third is another 22,000 player over there, Impulse, who again was going for the Lurker Hydra stuff. Good Muta stuff from the Swiss, good Muta stuff from HyperONE. 32 Mutalisks died for HyperONE, and 35 died for the Swiss. But yeah, that's how, I mean, that's how it works. That's how Team Zerg makes it work. So good. Such good teamwork by Team Zerg. And yeah, that's going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and a 4v4. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.